If you want to learn songs like this, you need to stop relying on guitar tutorials, chord sites, and start focusing on learning songs by ear. Welcome to Don't Fret, It's Friday, a new series on my channel where I answer your guitar questions each week. Today's question comes from Sarah, and she wants to know, are there any tips you can give me to get better at ear training? Absolutely, yes I do. The obvious first tip that comes to mind is tuning your guitar every day that you play. Tuning your guitar trains your ears to hear and become familiar with the pitches that each string is tuned to. If you don't regularly tune your guitar, your ear is not going to be as sharp, and you're going to get used to how your guitar sounds when it's out of tune that you won't realize that it's actually out of tune. And if you need some extra help tuning your guitar, I got you. You can check out my video tutorial right here. The second thing I started doing was picking out root notes instead of entire chords, and you can think of root notes as like the bassy or lowest note of a chord. An easy way to get started is by picking the 6th and 5th strings up and down the fretboard till you get to a note that sounds like what you're hearing. Once you have your root notes figured out, then you can start to figure out what chords it may match up with. It helps a lot if you already know the notes up and down the fretboard on every single string, but if you don't, a little hack is you can actually use your tuner to tell you each note that you're playing. So if you're going along the 6th string here, and if this note sounds like something you're hearing in a song, it might have some kind of G chord in it because this is a G note on your fretboard on the 6th string, 3rd fret. So now you know it could be a G major, it could be G minor, it could be some form of G chord. So a really easy, helpful tip to remember is that whatever the name of a chord is, that is also the name of a root note. Any type of E chord, your root note is E. F major, your root note is F. D, like it just matches up letter for letter. My third tip is if you want to learn songs like this, you need to stop relying on guitar tutorials, chord sites, and start focusing on learning songs by ear. This is something that you are going to fail so many times at before you get better. And what I started to do was figure out simple 4-chord songs that I could just tell were the same group of chords for the entire song from beginning to end. Once you choose a song that sounds really simple, sit down and find those root notes that lead you to figuring out what those chords might be, and then try to match it up with what you're hearing in the song. I also recommend having a capo by your side if you are a beginner and not ready for bar chords yet, so that way you can access those easier open chords. The more you do this, you are gonna start listening to songs an entirely different way. I was able to listen to a song and know what the progression was without even touching my guitar. And the best part of this is you can check your work online, so you can then go to those guitar tutorials, the chord sites, and check your work, see how close you got. It's kind of like having one of those math textbooks in high school where they had the answers in the back of the book so you could check your work. If you have a guitar question that you would like to ask, you can click the link down below in the description and it might make it into the next Don't Fret, It's Friday.